Hello, my friends. Welcome. Today, let us ask a question. The question is, hey Neil, what shape is it? And we're going to let him first tell us, and this is a clip from 10 years ago, in 2014, telling us about the shape of the Earth actually as it is at this time.
So you spin, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. It gets wider in the middle. So Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So, it turns out the pear-shapedness is bigger than the height of Mount Everest above sea level.
How much higher is the tall mountain that you identified in this book, which name I forget?
Okay, so that was Neil deGrasse Tyson explaining the Oblate Spheroid pear shape of the Earth. So, on a side note, let's just tie in that in the early 2000s, he was awarded the NASA Distinguished Public Service Medal, which is the highest civilian honor that NASA gives out. So, in the big scheme of things, Neil and NASA have been pretty much lockstep in just about everything regarding space, and at some point, pretty much aligned just about across the board. So, now that we have established that, let's take a look at some photos from NASA directly. What we are now seeing is the most recent 2024 image from NASA of the Earth. So this is the most recent. And in this next one, here we have an article from NASA of the recent eclipse showing the sun and the eclipse there, as well as the globe below. Some of you have probably noticed already where our problem and our question is going to arise, if you haven't noticed already. But we will now take a few minutes to review some more official images from the NASA website together. Let's take a scroll down the official page and see what notes we should make. Note, behold, one of the more detailed images of the Earth yet created. Note, this blue marble Earth montage shown above, created from photographs taken by the Visible Infrared Imager Radiometer Suite instrument on board the new Suomi NPP satellite. Shows many stunning details of our home. The composite, note, was created from the data collected during 4 orbits of the robotic satellite taken earlier this month and digitally projected onto the globe. Many features of North America and the Western Hemisphere are particularly visible on a high-resolution version of the image. Note the scale of North America in particular, and that it's taking up almost the entire upper, from the entire left to right, is North America. So note that as well. Now let's go back and let's pick another trending and popular. let's take a look at this thing. Oh, well, wow, look at that. Oh, but let's look down here. Behemoth black hole found in an unlikely place. This computer simulated image shows a supermassive black hole at the core of a galaxy. Computer simulated image. You couldn't tell that by looking at it. You might be struggling with some cognitive dissonance. Let's be consistent with some things. Let's look at this. Alright. Earth and Moon. During its flight, NASA's Galileo spacecraft returned images of the Earth and Moon. Separate images of the Earth and Moon were combined to generate this view. Okay. Note size of South America. That's less than a third of the right side, and yeah, okay. Well, let's see if that's consistent later. Let's go back. Let's find. Alright, here's another Earth. Let's take a look at that. This is going to be important later. Alright. So, what side are we seeing here? Looks like to be mostly oceans. And a little bit of maybe Australia up there, maybe New Zealand next to it. Let's see. A sky view of Earth. From Swami, NPP. This composite image, note, of southern Africa and the surrounding oceans. So that in the top is supposed to be Africa. And just based on the amount of what we're looking at here, that's taken up less than a fourth of the upper half of this globe image. And if we were to side by side Africa with the United States, I don't think the North America is dwarfing Africa to this degree. So, well, it's interesting. This is based on 6 orbits created this composite image. Right, okay. So, that's Africa at the top, allegedly. And we are on the official NASA website, so this is all coming straight from them. Let's get another full look here. View of the Earth, seen by the Apollo 17 crew traveling toward the moon. Alright. Now, we are looking at the Mediterranean Sea area to the Antarctic South Polar Ice Cap. Oh. The Arabian Peninsula can be seen at the northeastern edge of Africa. So there's Africa again, allegedly. And the Mediterranean Sea to the Antarctic South Polar Ice Cap. Is Africa consistent in the upper from the last time? Is North America that much larger? Alright. And this was taken from the Apollo 17, apparently. Alright, so notes on all of that. And now we will proceed to take a look at something else. So now let's take all of those references we just saw in all of those different official images from NASA and the scale of the different objects and different countries and things that they mentioned and referenced. And now let's look at an official NASA photo, and let's look at a very specific reference point from that photo and tie that reference to a physical map. Now we are looking at an incremental measurement scale from the map as it's applied, and now you're seeing it also on that globe model or NASA image. So you can see the differences between the official NASA image and what actual segment measurements from a physical map. And it appears there's a problem here. And of course, that is the small problem. The big problem is, if Neil deGrasse Tyson told us in 2014, 10 years ago, that the actual shape of the Earth is an oblate spheroid, which he compares to a pear shape, then how is it that NASA, and all of its official images ever since that time all the way till today, still show perfect circle images? Not a single pear-shaped oblate spheroid object in any of those official NASA images. So it is apparent that between Neil's science and math and NASA's images and photography, they appear to be a giant, blatant contradiction. As you can see here, there are 8 different official NASA images over the years from the 70s on to current. And all of those same countries and masses, all changing shapes and sizes as we progress through the years as well. But again, never a pear shape. So after review of the evidence, if we are still blindly believing NASA and the images it's providing, we are clearly not being honest with ourselves about what we're looking at. And it's a difficult thing to do. It's been imposed on us for a long time, but we got to be able to see and confirm and not be delusional about what's in front of us. And based on the evidence we have seen, if we are still blindly believing Neil deGrasse Tyson, we are not being honest about what we are looking at. So, if after all this, we are still going to be under the impression that the Earth is pear-shaped, then we might as well go ahead and believe whatever Neil gives us next, and it might as well be this. Alright, have a good one, my friends.